Good evening, ma'am. We are really honored to take your interview today. We are from the Rotary Club of Ruya College, and on the occasion of Navratri, we are having the project NavShakti, where we are interviewing 9 different women and bringing their stories to our audience.
Wonderful.
So, my first request would be to please introduce yourself to our audience, and you could please include your academic journey in it, and maybe a little about you and your family.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Archana Krishanan. I'm a scientist, biotechnologist. Actually, also alumni of your college, of our college, Ruya, Ramnarayan Ruya College. Passed out in '94. I did my bachelor's in microbiology from our favorite micro department with Dr. Fadke, who was the head of the department at that point of time. And of course, our beloved principal, ma'am, Mrs. Lokur, she taught us medical microbiology. Very fond memories. So I'm delighted to be a part of this Ruya Rotary Club initiative of Navdurga. Extremely pleased to encourage young girls and women in all fields of life. Coming to my academic qualification, well, I did my bachelor's from Ruya. I studied, of course, in the Godrej School, where I did my schooling, and it was a wonderful school. Followed by my graduation at Ruya College and my post-graduation from MS University, Baroda, where I was the gold medalist in my batch. I did my master's in biochemistry. After that, I was a little confused. Should I pursue academics or should I take up a career in the corporate world? So, but I decided to pursue academics at the end of the day, and I qualified the CSIR GATE examination and got into my PhD program at IIT Bombay, and that's where I completed my PhD. The project was a very interesting project, which was a collaborative effort between the Department of Biotechnology and CDFD Hyderabad and Manipur. So all in all, that was my academic journey.
Ma'am, you just mentioned that you did your PhD in biotechnology. So could you please introduce biotechnology to our audience in your words, what it is and how you ended up taking a career path in biotechnology?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So biotechnology now, everyone's talking about it. It's become a very in kind of field, so to speak. It's basically technology linked to biology. So everything related to biology, whether be it in the field of agriculture or marine or medical or healthcare. There are so many aspects to it. I mean, it's an enormous field. There's a lot of research happening in this field. I personally chose medical or the healthcare space, and it was during my PhD that I developed some technologies. I would say that was around the year 2000, where I developed technologies like the PCR, which you know today. The entire COVID diagnostics was RT-PCR. So way back in 2000, we developed a lot of PCR-based technologies. And we thought that this entire medical biotechnology has such enormous potential to impact people and to get very definitive diagnostics in a very short period of time. So we thought we should get it to the market, and the Indian patient population should benefit from it. So in 2000 we started. By me, I mean my at that point of time my guide Dr. Sanjay Sonar and my colleague Mr. Abhishek. The three of us started molecular diagnostics, and we got these high-end diagnostics into the market. These PCR diagnostics. At that point of time, not many doctors were even aware that PCR could help in diagnosis. So we were India's first PCR lab, and in the process of doing that, we reached out to many doctors. Some doctors came back to us saying, we have issues in say a virus, a hepatitis virus. So we don't know whether we have treated the patient, we don't know whether the patient is cured or not. So then techniques like finding out whether the presence of virus before treatment and after treatment, these kind of things, it greatly helped the physicians to take a decision whether they have to stop the treatment or what kind of treatment they have to pursue. So all of these very high-end technologies, we got it very early. We were a little bit ahead in the game, but we got it to Indian patient population at a very early stage. And in the process, so that was the work that we did in the diagnostics field. But there was still this agenda that we had, that we want to make affordable medicines for India. We want our Indian population to have good quality, high quality, affordable medicines. And at that point of time, there were only a few MNCs, the big pharma, big daddies, who used to sell these expensive medicines. Many of Indian population could not even afford it at that point of time. So we decided to work in the space of diabetes. And one day decided, okay, since we have the molecular biology expertise, why don't we clone insulin? So we cloned insulin, we got some success, and then slowly we went ahead, we raised money, we raised funds, we started a company called as Biogenomics. Biogenomics today has the first marketing approval of an advanced insulin, and we have just kind of launched into the Indian market. There are a lot of other interesting products in the pipeline, and that has been the passion, to make healthcare high quality and affordable for the Indian patients.
So you are a microbiologist, and since we recently went through the lockdown, and all of us have seen massive growth in the work done by microbiologists, maybe your experience about that time and how you help the society through your work.
Yeah. So since I already had the PCR background with me, I had developed about 190 odd products in viral PCR diagnostics. We took a head start. So I think COVID broke loose around March of 2020. November of 2019, we started planning for PCR because this news had already broken from WHO. So the genome sequence was known, so we took a head start. We started developing the PCR diagnostic kits and also the PCR test. So by the time COVID hit Mumbai, India, we already had the PCR diagnostic test approval. So we were one of the first ICMR labs who had the PCR test approval. And then we also, in order to, eventually the PCR test became cheaper and cheaper, but in order to do that, we had to do a lot of innovation. So we did a lot of innovation on that front, and we got our ICMR approved diagnostic kit for COVID. Apart from that, so that's a massive effort that was done during COVID times. And then apart from that, in the society, I was also the secretary at that point of time of my building, and being a microbiologist, obviously I was asked to formulate policies of entry, exit, sanitation, etc. So that kind of work, creating awareness amongst fellow residents, amongst elders, senior citizens, did a lot of work in that as well. But the COVID really taught us a lot about life, and all of the worries are now put to rest only because of the COVID vaccine, isn't it? So that is what I would say about COVID.
Ma'am, my next question would be, what advice you would give to our audience, and especially girls who are wanting to pursue a career in science?
Very nice. So being Navratri, I'm very happy to inspire younger girls. I want younger, brighter minds, especially women and girls in STEM. STEM is basically science, technology, engineering and mathematics. the times have changed. Like there have been earlier days, women were asked to restrict themselves to the kitchen and household, and men were the bread earners. Things are changing drastically, and I think this entire gender, stereotyping should completely go. Parents should stop discriminating, and I think more or less that is happening, at least in urban cities. Uh, there is a little bit of mindset that needs to change, but the entire interest of young girls in the field of science should be inculcated very, very early on, right from the school, where girls should be allowed to voice their opinions at a very young age, ask questions of why, what, when, and should be encouraged to think in the field of science. So that there's a big role that schools and colleges need to play in this. Girls should also see women, like you people are doing this Navdurga. That's wonderful, because if young girls and young minds see women who have done a lot, achieved a lot in science, it's going to inspire them to do that. So today, there are Nobel Prize winning scientists who are inspirations to me personally, like Emmanuel Charpentier or Jennifer Doudna, who won a Nobel Prize in gene editing. They won a Nobel Prize in gene editing, which is going to change the entire paradigm of healthcare. Like you can change a gene and you can, treat a disease. This year's Nobel Prize for mRNA vaccines went to Dr. Caitlin Carrico, who did work in the mRNA vaccines. So these kind of people, these kind of women, bright women, if you see, I think young minds will surely be inspired. So I feel that not just at home, at schools, at colleges, girls need to be encouraged. They need to see what is happening in the field, and they need to be more open and question about science and technology.
Ma'am, you just told us about your whole journey of becoming a biotechnologist and working in this career and in this profession for so long, and so giving back to the society so much. I'm sure you've achieved so much, and if you would like to share with us your personal achievements that are close to your heart, or the best moments or the feelings that you had when you got these awards.
Okay, so my biggest award, I would say, is my team at Biotechnology. I mean, it's a fantastic team. I must tell you, every single part of this technology that was developed was not taught to us by anyone. We failed and failed and failed and then succeeded. There's a lot of research that has gone into it. There's a lot of work for the last 20 years that my team has been involved in, and they have successfully today launched, we have just as of last week launched our first insulin, aspart analog, which is an advanced insulin. It's the first biosimilar insulin in the world, aspart biosimilar insulin, and it is extremely rewarding that finally, after a lot of research, which would include not just doing the process, making the clones or developing the process, we have to take the drug through a lot of rigorous clinical trials, animal studies, phase 1 clinical trials, phase 3 clinical trials, only after which you get a marketing authorization. So that entire long process has been completed, and finally our product will be reaching the masses through a brand called as InsuQuick. I think that nothing can be as rewarding as this, when a scientist's 20 years of work reaches the mass. So that, I think, would be my biggest achievement for me and my team at Biotechnology.
Ma'am, our next question would be about your hobbies, and if you have any and would like to share it with the audience.
I love cooking. I would love to I love to cook and feed my close near and dear ones. So that is definitely my number one hobby. And I recently took up gardening and I'm really enjoying it. And especially during COVID times, I wanted to grow a lot of flowers and then some vegetables. So started a little bit of vegetable home gardening. I like to read. I like to spend time with my family, especially my daughter, and like to go on long walks and just be with myself. So some of my hobbies, and that's my me time basically. So relaxing and maybe listening to a podcast during my walk. That's about it.
As you mentioned earlier, as a scientist, there many a times you have don't even know if this particular thing is going to succeed, and we face many failures, and we still have to keep going because we need to succeed. So, what still motivates you to keep going every day?
Very, very interesting question, because yes, in science, as I said, there's a lot of failures and it takes a lot of experiments to learn your mistakes and then do them right, and hope that in the next experiment you will succeed. So it's about not repeating the old mistakes. It's learning from every experiment and moving forward. So once you set up an experiment, uh, you need and it fails, you need to go back and figure out what is it that I made an error in, which I should not make in my next experiment. And once you do that new experiment, you look forward to coming to lab the next day and seeing those results. And when you see that success, that is when it's an achievement for a scientist. And I'm sure everyone in my team also, all the scientists in my team, they look forward to getting up and coming and seeing their petri dishes or their lab results. So that is what keeps the scientists going, and it is this series of experiments that ultimately make us achieve our final end goal. So that is exactly what motivates a scientist.
As a woman, how do you balance your professional commitments and as well as keep giving time to your personal life and balance all of this?
As a woman, now Durga is what you are doing, right? So Durga has how many hands? 8 hands, right? So it is a balance, because women genetically are gifted to multitask, I feel. I, we all, have our roles as a mother, a wife, a daughter, a daughter-in-law, a teacher, to a colleague in your workspace, and friends. You should never forget your friends. So it's always a balance for everything. I believe that it's not that difficult to have a work-life balance. You some days maybe your role as a mother would be greater. Maybe some days your role as a daughter or a daughter-in-law would be greater. But eventually it all balances out. It works out. Fortunately, God has definitely gifted us, these genes where we can do a lot of multitasking. So that's how I would answer this question.
My next question would be about motherhood, because since our project is also very women centric, and since as a woman and as a human being as well, being a mother to somebody or having a mother figure in your life plays such an important role in our lives and has such an impact on us. I'm sure you also have your special moments, and please, if you can, share your experience about motherhood with our audience.
Sure. So motherhood is the most beautiful gift that nature has given us women. It's a truly beautiful relationship that we nurture, we grow within us, and we bring to life. I see a lot of young kids today who are very career focused, who don't want to become parents. They are like, we want to focus on our career, but they really will miss out a lot, because as women, we have a role in propagating the genes. So as a biologist, I would say yes, it's a very, very important part of a woman's life. I will, for me personally, it was an unforgettable moment the day my daughter was born, and I first saw her, and she came and clenched my finger for the first time. Absolutely a unforgettable moment of my life, and I would like to believe that I'm doing my best to her as a mother, and she is a wonderful child, so she has been extremely supportive of me. Many times I had to travel when she was a small little baby, and but she is a very resilient kid, so always bounced back. She always managed without her mom, and so beautifully. I mean, motherhood is definitely for me a highly, highly recommended, a relationship that I hope many girls do have.
Ma'am, my next question would be in regards to support, be it family support, friend support. We see that many women out there do have so much potential in them to achieve it and make it big, but due to their circumstances or the lack of support somewhere, they do not get and receive what they deserve. So, what are your thoughts about it? Maybe your experiences or your anything you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, I did say that women can multitask and all, but nothing is possible without the support of your close, near and dear ones. And starting with having very supportive family it's the key to your success. So very early on in earlier days, after I got married, I did my PhD. So my husband supported me in that. When we started biogenomics, there used to be a lot of work, a lot of experiments running late night. Running the house, coming here and completing my experiments was a big sacrifice I was doing at one point or the other. So a lot of support from husband, from my in-laws who've been really so sweet. They've helped me in many ways that you can imagine, including helping me out with my daughter when she was younger, and of course my parents. The entire family is the entire family support structure that you have around, and I've been extremely lucky in that respect. I don't know how many have that privilege, but I definitely did. In addition, having your team, rooting for you at work as well. My colleagues, Dr. Sanjay, my colleague Mr. Abhishek, we all are each other's cheerleaders. So, of course, a woman cannot do everything by herself. She definitely needs a very, very strong support system. Fortunately, I have one.
Ma'am, we nearing the end of the interview, and my very last request would be to kindly give our audience a little message or anything you would like to share with the audience. And you could also mention a few your experience about this interview, and hope you liked it.
Yeah, of course. The message that I would like to give the younger audience is that if you don't take a chance, your chances of success are very low. So give it a shot. If you have an idea, if you have a passion, pursue it. Try to take it to its logical conclusion. You never know what is there on the other side of the bridge. So walk that bridge, take that effort, and you'll probably get there. You'll be surprised at yourself. So that is my message for you young girls and boys. And I'm very, very inspired. I'm very happy that you young kids of Rotaract Club are doing this. I hope it reaches a lot of young girls and boys from your college, and I hope there are more kids taking up STEM, the field of STEM. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you.
Ma'am, it was really an honor for us and hope you liked it. And happy Navratri to you.
Wish you to.